From Britney to Paris to Kim Kardashian, Amy Winehouse, a new book explores the coverage of celebrity women who found fame in the 2000s and how it shaped our culture today.
Journalist Sarah Ditum examines the price of fame these women paid in Toxic Women, Fame, and the Tabloid 2000s. And Sarah joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I wonder, what is the running thread here? Obviously, you know, Janet Jackson's very talented, but some of these are celebrities just like for being celebrities, I guess. Does that play a factor in all this?
I think that's definitely an aspect of what happens to fame in the noughties. You have this class of people who are described as famous for being famous. I mean, that's something that was said about Paris Hilton. It's something that was said about Kim Kardashian as well. I think the truth is they're not famous for being famous. The truth is that they were people who were incredibly talented at understanding what the public wanted to see and at turning that into, you know, essentially, you know, product. I mean, reality TV is not nothing. It takes a huge amount of charisma and a huge commitment to storytelling to make reality TV work. But I think at the time there was this idea that fame had become kind of debased, and these, you know, in the idea of the time, these sort of no-marks were able to impose themselves on public attention, and it contributed to a really hostile, aggressive, and like very misogynistic kind of coverage.
Yeah, and I think you say it started with Britney with that video Baby One More Time. And it's interesting, you know, through the Britney's book that's been out and all the talk about her and her conservatorship, you rewatch some of those clips of when she's being interviewed as a teenager and the questions that were asked about her virginity and her boyfriends. It just seems so icky now. And what was it about that time frame that was happening?
I think a couple of things. Number one was that there was a real no holds barred atmosphere in celebrity culture. So you'd kind of come out of a period where press coverage could really be fairly tightly controlled by celebrities because you were dealing with TV, radio, and magazines. And that doesn't mean that it was never intrusive, but it does mean that celebrities had a certain amount of power in terms of how they were represented. You move into the noughties, the internet appears, and the internet is basically anything goes, especially when it comes to the blogs and eventually social media. And that has an influence on mainstream media. That means people were talking openly about, for example, Britney's virginity and what had she done. And that kind of spills over into, you know, what you would expect to be much more, you know, serious and much less intrusive kinds of coverage. Everybody was kind of in on the same stuff at the time, and it was a really tough period to be certainly someone like Britney, who, you know, how could you know, who of us could survive having our, you know, teenage relationships picked over in the public sphere? Absolutely brutal.
But there are lots of famous, successful, talented people who manage to avoid the tabloid. So it makes one wonder, how much are they just using all that to manipulate us and to get attention, which is currency?
Well, I think some of the people in my book recognized that the attention economy was really valuable to them. I think Paris, for example, recognized the value of the attention economy. It doesn't mean that she joined it on her own terms. So the sex tape she featured in, she did not want that released. She fought tooth and nail every possible legal avenue to make sure that didn't come out. And she said consistently that she never received a penny from it. But once there was no way for her to stop it coming out, because privacy law was so behindhand in this period, the internet had arrived, but the law was completely incapable of dealing with the way it changed the distribution and, in some cases, the sale of really intimate material. It invents the revenge porn problem, which we're still dealing with. And once she realized that it wasn't possible to suppress it, she turned it into a part of her image. And I think she was incredibly smart to do that. It had a big cost for her, and I think it was a really unhappy period of her life. But so, you know, it goes both ways in some senses. People become famous because they're good at managing their image, and that means that they are sometimes good at turning unfortunate experiences into good content for the public. It doesn't mean those experiences are justified or the intrusion was ever okay.
And then you look at Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake at the Super Bowl when you had that incident, and it seems like the treatment of each of them was very different.
It was very different, and it was very different in the media, and it was very different internally within CBS. So, for example, Janet was ditched from the Grammys, and Justin was invited in and received an award. I think it was a really, really rough period, and there's a lot that, you know, it's still quite contentious what actually happened in that moment. Obviously, it wasn't a complete accident. Obviously, something was planned. It went wrong. It was Janet's show. It was her choreography. It was her costume. So if something went wrong, you know, essentially, I would say it's on her, but the response to it was so exaggerated, and it was exaggerated by technology, because this was the first time that there were, at the time, TiVo recorders, which things, you know, like, who has TiVo anymore, right?
It is interesting.
So
Well,
it could,
Yeah.
yeah, well, the book is Toxic: Women, Fame, and the Tabloid 2000s. You can follow Sarah on Instagram and X. Thanks for being with us,
Thank
Sarah.
you.